In this video, we're going to talk about calculating the volume of different geometric shapes. Now, just like in the last couple of videos, we're going to be using the mathematics chart, and it's going to give you the formulas for volumes. Now, I'm going to walk through each of them and how to work them, but we're going to talk about the volume and see what we get. Well, we're going to start first with the volume of a prism or a cylinder. The formula is going to be volume equals B times H. Now remember, B is going to equal the area of the base. Now you don't have to remember that. It actually prints it right here on the chart. So we're going to walk through that. So let's take a prism. We'll just use this prism. This one happens to be a rectangular prism. And let's take the volume of that rectangular prism. It's going to be B, which is the area of the base. Well, if I set it on the base, there's the base, so it's going to be a rectangle. And so the area of a rectangle is length times width. There's that area. Then multiply that times the height, and I've got it. So that means it's going to be 3 times 2 times the height of 7. And now remember, a volume is if you were to open the end and just pour it and fill it up with, maybe you've taken this and filling it with liquid, maybe with water. What's the volume inside? Well, 3 times 2 is 6 times 7. 7 times 6 is 42. There's my volume. So I'm just plugging numbers into the formula. Let's say it wasn't this one. Let's say instead of a prism, it was a cylinder. Well, cylinder works exactly the same way. The area of a base of this, well, if I look at the base of that, that's the circle, and a circle, area of a circle, equals pi r squared, and that's printed on the formula sheet. So basically what I'm going to do is pi r squared times the height. So you'll notice the first time I used one formula for B, and now I use different. How do I know the difference? Look at the picture. What's it sitting on? That's a circle. And since this is the area of the base, it's the area of a circle. So I just look up the area of a circle. So it's pi times the radius, which is 4, squared. And then I'm going to multiply that times the height. So it's going to be 4 times 4 is 16 pi times the height, which is 9. Now I'm going to grab my calculator because 16 times 9, I want to make sure I get that right, is 144 pi. These aren't very difficult to use. You just have to plug numbers in. Use that calculator that they give you on the test so that you make sure and get the right answers as you go along. So in this case, if I would fill it up with liquid, 16 pi would end up being the volume. So that's how you do the volume of a prism or a cylinder. Let's try another one real quick. Instead of a prism or a cylinder, let's look at the next formula that they give us. Let's do a pyramid or cone. They have the same formula, pyramid or cone. That volume is going to equal to 1/3, there's big B again, and H. So let's see what we get if we use something like this cone. If I want to know the volume, if I'm going to fill it up with liquid, it's going to be 1/3 the base. Well, the base is a circle again, and so the area of a circle is pi r squared. So I'm going to do pi r squared times the height. Well, if I'm going to do the height, I don't need the slant height, so let's just take this number out, and let's make this a 5 for the height from the middle up. So that's going to be the height. So it's going to be 1/3 pi times the radius, that's 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and the height is 5. So it's going to be, let's do the math real quick, 9 times 5 is 45, divided by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15 pi. And you would do the exact same thing for a pyramid. All you do is plug in the numbers where they go. In this case, the base of this picture was a circle. So, and since the B equals area of a circle is pi r squared. So I just put pi r squared in for B times the height, plug the numbers in, and that's what I get. One more. Let's do, I'm going to write that back in there real quick to make sure you have it. 1/3 big B H. The last one we're going to talk about is a sphere. The volume of a sphere. You're going to do a sphere. Let's say we have that as a sphere. And the volume of a sphere, if you want to fill it up with liquid, for example, that's the easy way to remember it. It's 4/3 pi r cubed. Now be very careful. All the others are squares. This one is cubed. Pi r cubed. So let's do this one. We have a radius of 4 written in right here. So let's just work the problem. So it's going to be 4/3 times pi times 4 cubed. So that's 4 times 4 times 4. So I'm going to go ahead and be careful and use my calculator. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now, you may not know how to do 4/3, but here's the easiest way we're going to do that is if I had it over 1, I multiply the tops and divide by the bottom. So I'm going to take 64 times 4. Then I'm going to divide it by 3, and I get 85.3 pi. So let me do that one more time. 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. The radius was 4. 4 times 4 times 4 was 64. So I multiply it times the 4 on top, divide by 3, and I get 85.3 times pi. This is how you do the volume of each of these shapes. All you do is take the formula, plug in your numbers, and see what you get. In the next video, you'll practice doing the volume of just a couple of them. See if you can get those right. Good luck!